Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Moxie and today I have another InZOI video for you. I had some comments on my other video asking for help with building, so I've made a building guide with tips. I don't play The Sims, so if there's certain terminology and I don't use it, that's why. What I do want to say is that building in InZOI definitely does not need to be confusing or scary to start. So I'm going to show you the different options and menus, what they all do, and how they can be applied to make a house. The main house in the video you'll see is my house. I built it myself with no prior building knowledge and not playing The Sims or anything. Although I would say it's 80% complete, I think it looks pretty cool already, so let's start from the beginning. So build mode. If you've chosen to build your house from scratch, don't worry, it's not as hard as it sounds. You'll need to know what all of the options are. If you head to build mode at the bottom right of your screen, this will open your build menu. The first option in the menu is property presets. These are preset houses ready for you to use. You can choose one and amend it. At the same time, you can also save your own presets for different properties you make. You can also use these as often as you like too. The next section is the actual building section. So your building foundations like walls, blueprints and doors. This is what we'll mainly be referring to in this video. Next is craft. You can either use the 3D printer option where you can upload a 2D image to make into a 3D object, or you can make mix and match furniture from preset options that you can mix together. Finally, we have the inventory where you will store all of your items. So in the build menu, the main icons you'll need are along the top of your screen, and I'll go through them one by one as these are what you'll need to build. The first are your walls. You can choose how your walls are displayed. You can have all walls, including exterior up, no walls, and only exterior walls. I would say this is a personal preference on how you want them. I usually have all of mine up and cycle through when I need to see something, but there's no right or wrong here. Floor up and down. This will change what floor your building is currently on. So if you have multiple floors, you can cycle through to work on the ground floor and then go up to the first floor, etc. If I'm on the ground floor, you'll see that the down arrow is grayed out, meaning that you can't go any further down. The floor grid, this enables you to toggle the floor grid on and off. This is great if you're trying to line objects up or if you want to sort of measure the distance between objects and furniture. Again, if you want to keep it on or off, it's just preference. But as a beginner, I would find it beneficial to keep on as it's so helpful. Snap on. Snap on snaps objects to the grid, like on each square, like big square. Having this off means you can freely place objects regardless of the grid. Keeping snap on is a great way when you're trying to line things up and make things equal. Selection tool. This tool you'll use to select objects and parts of buildings. Room selection tool. This is used to select whole rooms, floors and also flat roofs that are made with platforms. Delete tool deletes whatever you click on, and delete all deletes everything on the plot. Undo and redo, either undo or redo your last action while in build mode. Move house, this enables you to pick up your whole house and move it around. Move property, this lets you move everything on your plot, including any decor and furnishings outside. Reset property, this resets the property to how it was when you first acquired the land. And save property preset, this setting lets you save your property in its current state so you can use it on another plot, or if you want to save it so you can upload it to Canvas for others to use, you can take a photo of it and it just saves what you've created. While building, I believe the game does not autosave, so please be sure to keep saving your property. Bugs, this takes you to a page of current known bugs and game issues. Time of day, you can use the slider to change the time of day so you can see what you're doing better and how your lighting placements indoors and outdoors will work. So now it's time for the building and what you will need to build. When selecting objects, there are different options On walls, for example, you can move, rotate and scale. The blue circle is where you can move the whole object. The blue squares are where you can pull it out and extend it. The curved arrows to rotate. You can change the height, change the wall type, so from a wall to a partial wall. You can also change it to a handrail. The paintbrush is to customize, the rectangles to copy, and the bin is to delete. There are 3 types of walls: 3, 3.9, 4.8 and 5.7 meters high. If you're building a multi-level property, 3.9 might be a good shout. That's what I've built with. You also have partial walls, which you could use for balconies or perhaps around stairs at the top of a staircase. Handrails, these look so good on balconies, but they can also be used like a fence outside for a different look. There are many different options, and remember, you can use them to customize them to have the look you want. As well as building the walls yourself, you can make a preset room. There are various shapes, and this is a great option for quickness or if you want to add different levels to your property. Platforms. Platforms can be used to add a slightly raised level, but also they are great for flat roofs. Although it does take a little time, you can use them to make a flat roof. Depending on the shape of your property, you might need to use a few. If you put one down and it looks like you can't move it, make sure you have the room selection tool selected, because if you just have the normal selection tool, the other options won't come up. If you want to put platforms together, you'll need to use the room selection tool on the part you're trying to edit and then go back to the regular selection to adjust the height. There are various different types of doors: regular doors, sliding doors, and also garage doors. I recommend placing down your windows before creating inner walls, as if an inner wall is close to or overlapping where you want to put a window, it won't let you. So putting your main windows down first is advisable. Use shift to keep placing them if you want them in a row. Window decorations are window boxes and little tent types, top parts. I'm sure there's a proper word for those, but you know what I mean. Roofing, the roofing I would say is limited, but you can have a gabled and hip roofing. This is why I opted to using the platforms to make a flat roof. Pillars, these are awesome and also can be used as really nice wood decoration on the outside of properties. I think these make the houses look much more expensive, or apartments when you put 3 or 4 in a line, and there are various different options. Ladders, if you need a ladder for your house, there are various different ladders. Floor tiles, these are just large pieces of floor that you can customize. And blueprints, these can be customized and adjusted with the opacity and also the type. You can also rotate them if you want to build on top of them. The dark lines are for walls, the curves are for door placements and the way the door will swing out. And the double parts inside the property are apparently windows, but they're inside, so I'm not sure about this. Stairs I've left until last because it can be tricky, but I've found a way to put them down and be able to move them. The easiest way to place them and still be able to move them up to a certain point is to have the main base of your house sorted, the outer walls, and make sure they are fully connected, just the outer walls. Place the stairs where you'd like them. They do take up a lot of room though. You can put a bend in them, but we'll do this after. So find a place where you want to place them down and then use the page up button. This will sort of lock in the floor and give you an upper level. Then, while you're still on this level, build the walls on top of the walls that were on the bottom so you can make your floor. So just literally just go around your house in the same shape, just on that new level, and make sure it's all connected. If you want to change the positioning of the stairs page down to the ground floor, pick them up and move them or make them wider. If you want, use the curved arrows to make a bend in them and you'll be able to adjust them. I recommend being sure where you want to place your stairs before going on to the rest of the house. I'm going to be honest, if you don't know how to place them right, it's going to be a faff and really annoying, but I hope this helps you. You can take photos of items and make them 3D in the game. You can do this from the 3D printing mode in the craft section. I took some photos of my plushies and uploaded them to add as house decor. You can also turn existing furniture that you have into them to have the look of your 3D object. The other option you have is to make custom furniture by mixing together different parts that can be further customized. Customizing is really fun. The paintbrush will come up when you click on an object and you have different options here. The color screen is great. You can apply it to walls. Objects have the color section and you can click on the plus next to the colors if you find a color you like, and clicking on the plus will save a swatch so you can come back to it. It only lasts for that session, so if you start the game again you won't have the swatches that you had before. You can change the finish of objects and foundations. You can make them look like wood, metal. Walls can be wallpaper, textured. You can still change the colors within these. Some of them are limited, and various items will have different parts that can be changed to, not just the main color. So definitely play around. There is an option to generate patterns. The devs have said that this is trained on their own assets. However, I do not use this option and it is completely optional. What I do like is that you can upload textures if you have an image of a pattern you want to use. This is my own pattern that I made. It's one of my wrapping paper designs that I used to sell, and I think it's so cute as bed sheets. Even though it's not the vibe of my current house, I think taking high quality photos of textures of things outside around your area where you live could give some really nice results, and that's actually something that I might try. So if you want a modern looking house like mine, I'm going to talk through how I created my own house, as I see a lot of people speed building but they don't really explain much. Remember, my house is like 80% complete. I don't play Sims, I have no prior knowledge of building, so if I can make a decent looking house, you can too. Just like I mentioned, I looked at a real house for inspo. I searched like modern 2-floor house. I just wanted some ideas on how to make it look level wise. I tried a blueprint previously, it was definitely not for me, but if it works for you that's good, but I just found it harder. So the first thing you have to do is obviously build your foundation. I used 3.9 meters for the walls, and basically I'm just trying to build out a shape because I want to have different levels and like some parts jutting out, like some, it's not all going to be like a square like how you would draw a house with like a little square and then a triangle roof. I want it to be a little bit more put together. Like I tried to do the stairs, it wasn't happening, I couldn't quite get it yet. Now I'm looking to try and build the rooms. Like I said, this is not a great idea. You should really build your stairs first and then build the rooms. So here I'm just adding like a second floor. So I'm just kind of building out the rooms. I'm trying the stairs again. Obviously it's not working. So I want different levels and the house to look very modern, but also match the ones in the vicinity. So here I'm just filling up the walls, making sure that all the gaps are closed, making sure it's got a roof, filling in any gaps on the side. I kind of like extended it out so the back of the house like extends out at the top, so it's not all on one level. I think this is very cool. I added a balcony as well, which I really wanted. I wanted to have a balcony, but then there was like this little gap at the bottom that I had to like close up. I had to make a floor to close it. It was not fun. Then to add windows were good, but because there were walls on the inside it was a little bit difficult with the placing. This is my flat roof, which is platforms put together. Remember to use the room selection tool when you want to like move them all. I was just playing around with colors. I saw a lot of different houses, like when I was looking at references, that had different color parts. So I was like, okay, I'll add some wood to the front, and I want the roof to be dark. I raised up the top of the roof a bit to give it a little bit more contrast, like the buildings in the surrounding area. Couldn't really decide on the color. It was a bit of a mess. Then the bathroom. This is going to be the bathroom. I didn't quite know how to do this. I'm really bad at the inside of the house. I'm really bad at it. But I figured out this. I guess the upstairs is going to be open plan. I changed the outside of the house to be dark, and now I'm just putting on lights on the outside, so it's kind of got like a contrast of colors. So you got the grey and then the wood part. Putting on the lights is fun, but I wanted white lights, so I had to change each one to be white instead of like a yellow toned light, which was a little annoying. So now I wanted a path because the outside is looking a little bit bare. I mean, the house looks good, but the surrounding area is not, it's not good. I can't put a ceiling light outside on that part. It needs to be like a proper ceiling. So I thought I would add some like shrubs, some greenery, so it doesn't look too, I guess, clinical. I think I added some more shrubs and a little fountain. There's no water. I don't know what. There's no. Do I need to do something? But anyway, I thought it would look cool to put the glass on the outside, so I've done that. If anyone wants to look at my ZOI from the outside, okay. But I also added some greenery on top of the balcony. I added floor. I didn't really know what floor to pick so it would match nicely. I changed the door colours and the windows so they all kind of match. Then I was deciding what colour to have the walls. I still don't know, to be honest. The inside of my house, I'm still not sold on it, but it's still a work in progress. This is the kitchen. It's really narrow. My real life kitchen's really narrow, so that, like, you know, I'm not missing much here with my ZOI. I added a sofa. And at one point I did change the stairs. I think you'll see it later. I did change the stairs so there's a curve in them. I'm just looking at how everything looks. Back to the bathroom. Obviously it needs a door. I've put a shower, sink, toilet, you know, the basics that a bathroom should have. I have an open plan bedroom. I added a bed, 2 like bedside tables, a little cat lamp as well. Then I added oh my gosh, these lights in this positioning is great. 10 out of 10. I love it so much. I wanted to match with the other buildings. They all have this like raised part on the roof. This probably the longest thing to do so far. Just to do this was way too long. It was longer than it should have been. I added some more stuff into my bedroom because it was looking a little bit bare. The mirror, I don't get it. It looked like there was an image on it. Either way, I added some gym stuff right at the top. I added a treadmill, a hoop, some dumbbells, and a water dispenser as well. And then I did put the curve in the stairs. I added some more of these lights. These lights are like the best thing. They're like my favorite thing. And again, I changed them so that they will be a white light instead of the yellow. Then I changed the wallpapers. The kitchen's got wallpaper. I don't even know if I like the colour of the walls in the kitchen. I'll see. I added a little coffee table, a TV. I wanted to add some more stuff in there. I just didn't know what to put. I put a little clock on the wall. I had a desk with my computer on it for my ZOI. This little part, the table and the chairs, they weren't matching. I went with this, and then like I put some plants there to make it look a bit more lived in, and like a bottle of wine on the table. I don't know, my ZOI drinks wine, I guess. Again, the lights, because I love them. I changed the wallpaper in my bedroom and it was a bit much, so I made it lighter. And I think the last part is just the bathroom, and I think that's as far as I got actually so far. So that is my house building guide. I hope I've covered everything to help you feel confident, or if you found a tip that helps, that will make me so happy. If you have any more questions, I'll do my best, although I'm not a house building expert, but I'm happy to share anything I might have forgotten. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe for more InZOI and other cozy game videos. I hope you have an awesome week ahead. Take care. Bye.